Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. Before we get started, we'd once again like to thank all of you that took the time to leave a comment and a thumb up on our last video. Love hearing from you guys, thanks so much. In our last video where we discussed sleep deprivation, when Jules hadn't got almost any sleep in 3 days, he became so disoriented that I thought for sure he must have had a stroke. Some of our viewers questioned why we didn't heave to or take down the sails and wait for better weather conditions so Jules could have gotten some rest. So in this video we will share with you our reasoning for doing what we did.
So first I would like to discuss about heave to, which was suggested by some. Now, a classical heave to, it's a simple where in a moderate gale or a gale you decide to stop making any progress. You must have enough sea room, but what you do is this here. You pull your mainsail to the midship, you backwinded your staysail, then you turn your rudder into the windward. Now what happened is, as the wind hits the backwinded staysail, your bow falls off, mainsail picks her up, start going her forward. Now rudder brings her back into the wind, you lose the speed forward, again the bow gets blown down by a backwinded staysail, again the mainsail picks up, start going movement forward, rudder bring her back to the wind, and so on.
You move kind of crab ways.
So you're pretty much going like this here.
Yeah.
You're not making any headway, you will do some leeway, but you can relax and take a break. Now, problem with this thing is that you cannot do that in the places where there are squalls and no wind, squalls and no wind. The reason is very simple. Think of it like this here. To bring your boat into heave-to position, you have to have a headway for a mainsail and a staysail to work. If you don't have it, then you cannot heave to. If the winds die, sail is just hanging down. Now, if you suddenly should get a squall, which can come anywhere from 25 to even as much as 50 knots, actually put you into a big danger. Because if you should get hit on a beam, your boat will have no time to respond and turn into the wind, so you can get a knockdown. And believe me, there are a lot of boats who never made a harbor to tell the story. Just like the boat I was talking about in the last video, the name of the boat was a Bertie. And believe me, if a 55-foot heavy wooden cruiser can get knocked down, then anybody can do it. So that is the first thing I would like to describe why heave to is not a good thing to do in places of the squalls and no wind area. Now, second thing is about take your sails down, because who is in a hurry? So that maybe sounds kind of a nice thing to tell to somebody, that who is in a hurry, if you're in a hurry, take a plane. But let me tell you why you might be in a hurry. When you're coming from the west coast of the United States and you're heading for a South Seas or say French Polynesia, you will crossing two hurricane belts. One in the northern hemisphere and one in the southern hemisphere. Now, most hurricanes have a time table where they're at a certain time of a year, but believe me, hurricanes were recorded every time of a year. So some places sometimes are better than others, but there is no 100% in neither one. And the same far as the belt is. Usually they are from a latitude 10 to latitude about say 22, 24. But again, it's been recorded hurricane even down to close to equator, as close as a 5 degree. And going up past 24 degree north or southward. So because of it, when you leave South Seas and coming towards Hawaii, if you go in the early part of a year, during the winter months of the northern hemisphere, you are dealing with the hurricane season in the southern latitude. Now, if you're living in the summertime, you will be crossing hurricane lane in the northern latitude. So either way, you cannot prevent it by crossing hurricane lanes. When we left South Seas, we left on the middle to end of December. It was already a hurricane season, so you was want to get out of there as soon as possible. Now, a lot of people take that very lightly, but most people, let me tell you, don't have any experiences with it. Yes, you can cross them without any problem. Truth is, and chances to run a hurricane is not that great, but it is very possible. I will relate a story to you back in '92 when we get tangled up with Hurricane Iniki. Now in this video show it to you how the boats act once you go through something like that, you don't want to experience again. And then again in 1997, when we was leaving Hawaiian Islands, our boat was all ready for passage north. And we checked the weather, and Hurricane Guillermo just left the coast of Mexico and was heading straight for the Hawaii. Now, as we checked the weather report, Guillermo was 700 miles east of Hawaiian Islands. So we figured we had plenty time to go north, because we knew once we get into a colder waters, we should be okay. Plus, hurricanes, when they travel across the Pacific westward, many of them actually continue. They cross the date line and they become a typhoon. But many of them turn towards the north. That means they hang a right. Your hurricanes in the northern hemisphere are running counterclockwise, and they veer into the right. That means up to the north. So knowing that we have 700 miles, we thought we were fine. We were kind of impatient. We didn't want to wait. So we said, oh, let's just go. So we went. And as every day we were making a progress going northward, and we were watching a weather report on SSB radio, position of Guillermo. And believe it or not, every day Guillermo got closer and closer to us. Now it was an El Nino year, so the water was warmer than normally. When we were about latitude 240, it's when Guillermo caught up with us. Guillermo passed us about 45 to 50 miles. Now we were in what they call a dangerous semicircle. That means on the right side of the northern hurricane. We experienced large seas, about 25 feet plus. And luckily we were far enough from the center where the waves was not breaking, but it still was one hell of a seas. We had still about 45 knots of wind. Now all night long we were heave to, and that's the kind of place where you want to heave to. But even that was not exactly a piece of cake. We had difficulties because about 2:30 in the morning our halyard broke, which hold our gaff. Because under that kind of weather conditions, the unbelievable strain on your rig. So as our halyard broke, naturally part of our gaff sunk. We had to go right away out to lower the mainsail. It took us about 2 hours to put a trysail up, which we continue heave to for another day and a half. Once the seas went down sufficiently.
Not totally though.
Susan had to go up on the mast. I hoist her up and to row a new halyard so we could continue sailing with our mainsail. Now, when we were in Hawaii, our camera recorder broke, so we didn't buy a new one. So from there on several years we had no chance to recording the situation. But believe me, even if we had a camera, there was not a kind of time to do a recording. So the point of that story is this here, that once you get entangled with the hurricanes like that, you never will be looking forward to do it again. So when we was crossing the hurricane lane, because of the squalls, there was no option. We was going to get through it as fast as possible. So lowering the sail was totally out of question. And yes, I had to stay up for several days because to make any progress, you have to have your sails up. So there is nothing in between. So those people who think they can just take it easy and take your sails down, wait for a nicer weather, good luck. Because, you know,
sometimes it doesn't work out too well.
Yeah, you might be lucky and nothing happened, or you might be cursing the day you made a decision. So anyway, that is the one thing I was want to explain it, because I don't want those people who watch our channel to get misled by other people bad information. So yes, there is a time for a heave to, and yes, there is a time when you take your sails down, like for example when there is no wind, and you want to protect your sails so you don't let them flopping.
We've done that many times.
Yes.
We just
but
wait for the wind.
Yeah, but if you are in a place, like I say, a hurricane lane,
unstable, volatile.
The reason for the squalls were because of hot water, hot weather, and it's a perfect conditions for creating a tropical depression, which usually afterwards turns into tropical storm, and then perhaps even hurricane. So 2 times we got entangled with hurricanes, and several times with the tropical depressions and storms. Believe me, that's enough.
Okay guys, so that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. Please don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up if you liked it. And thank you to all the people that support our channel through Patreon and PayPal. We appreciate your support, guys, and we will see you all next time. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye-bye.
Bye.